All right, so today we're heading down under to Beveridge, Australia. It's a little town most haven't heard of, but it's the home of, well, a debut children's book author we're going to be diving into, Chris Barber, and his book, Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl, The Royal Race.
Definitely not your typical author deep dive, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, the story behind the book itself is, well, pretty interesting.
For sure, for sure. We're working with an article from the North Central Review, which is a local paper there. And we've also got excerpts from the book itself and, well, even peeked at its Amazon page, to get the whole picture.
It's a good thing, too. I mean, I was struck by, his dad balancing work and family life, using writing to connect with his daughter during visits. That's unique.
Yeah, it's one of those things, we can all relate to in a way. I mean, who hasn't pulled out the silly voices and wild stories to keep their kids entertained? But Chris, he took that and made it into something truly special.
Yeah. The article touches on how he was juggling all these responsibilities while writing.
Yeah.
It was clearly a labor of love. And now his creation is out in the world. It's really kind of magical when you think about it.
Speaking of magical, this book, the title alone, Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl, The Royal Race. It grabs your attention, right?
It does.
Like something out of, I don't know, a sugar-fueled dream, right? Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl. She's got this super fast, sparkly car, and she's racing through a world made of, well, candy and glitter. What's not to like?
And it's that vivid imagery. That's what makes it so engaging for kids. From page one, they're immersed in this world Chris has imagined.
Yeah, no, totally. Like when he describes the racetrack, Sugar Stream Hill, Pinky Dust Farm, even a jelly pond, it's like you're right there alongside Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl, caught up in the excitement of it all.
It's a world that just oozes joy and wonder. And honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's something we need more of in children's literature, especially these days.
Yeah, for sure. And, speaking of important messages, the story takes a pretty interesting turn when Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl wins the race.
Right? And that's where things get really interesting. It would have been easy to go with the predictable, everyone's happy end of story. But Chris, he takes a different route.
He does. Because Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl, her reaction to winning? Not exactly what you'd expect. Remember that handmade rabbit piggy bank? The one crafted by Sir Brownbottom himself?
Yeah. How could I forget that?
Her reaction to that prize is, well, let's just say Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl might be a bit of an understatement.
Sparkle-like goes out the window for a minute there.
Totally. But it's that unexpected twist that lets the story really dig into these deeper themes, like emotional intelligence and decision-making. So we've got this crazy race through a candy-coated world, and then bam, Chris Barber throws in this curveball, Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl's reaction. I mean, it's brilliant. It's not about winning or losing at that point. It's about how we deal with those unexpected twists and turns,
Exactly. And that's something so relevant, I think, for kids today. This whole push for giving kids the tools to really understand and manage their emotions. This book does that.
Oh, absolutely. Like those red choices and green choices in the story. It's such a simple but clever way to explain those concepts to young readers.
Right. Like a traffic light. It's like, guiding them toward positive decisions. And I love how Chris doesn't shy away from Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl's anger either. Like he even describes her as, and I quote, super duper angry. Which, let's be honest, that's a pretty accurate description of how kids feel sometimes.
Yeah, no, totally. And let's be honest, probably how a lot of adults feel sometimes too, right?
Exactly. But the important thing is, the book doesn't just acknowledge those big feelings. It actually gives kids a way to deal with them.
And the Fairy Floss Queen, talk about a great character, right? She's that voice of reason for Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl, reminding her that it's okay to feel angry, but it's not okay to hurt others because of it. It's a really valuable lesson, and it's packaged in this fun, engaging story.
And it goes back to Chris's whole reason for writing the book, right? Like the Amazon page mentions how he wanted to recreate those magical bedtime story moments he shared with his own kids.
Yeah.
It's like he's giving other families a tool to have those important conversations, about emotions, about making decisions, about relationships.
It's true. Books like this, they can really open those lines of communication between children and adults. And it helps that it's so easy to get a hold of it and on Amazon, digital and physical copies. So, whatever works.
Well, for sure. So I don't know whether you're a parent, a teacher, or just someone who enjoys a good story with a positive message. I think Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl it's worth checking out.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. It's engaging, it's imaginative, and it definitely leaves you with a lot to think about even after you finish reading it. It kind of makes you wonder, how might stories like Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl play a role in, raising a generation that's more empathetic, more emotionally intelligent? It's something to consider, isn't it?
Definitely is.
This has been a really interesting look at Chris Barber and Sparkle Light Lollipop Girl, The Royal Waste. We've had a great time, and, well, we hope you have too. Until next time, keep diving into those fascinating stories out there.